When you awaken, you rest. You can rest easy in the tender embrace of the divine, the loving and tender embrace of the divine. When people say God is love, they really mean it. It's true. God is love. Hi everyone, Tado-san Harmon here. I made a video the other day in which I said that awakening to non-dual awareness was the most important thing that could happen to a person. And I'm not sure I said enough about that, so I thought I would say a little bit more. First of all, awakening is why we're here. It's our purpose for being. It's we're all moving toward an awakening. In fact, we're already awake. We're just not aware of it because the background of awareness, of conscious awareness, which is who we really are, is being obscured by a sense of an egoic self, a separate self, a false self, which is obscuring, covering it up, blocking it. It's like the clouds blocking the sun. And when you transcend the separate self, you realize that the background of awareness is who you've always been. It's who you are. It's always been there. You realize that the egoic sense of a separate self is merely a mental construct. It's a conceptual fabrication that doesn't really exist. It's something that's been created over time as a result of social learning and what the cultural anthropologists call enculturation or socialization processes. These are the processes by which we acquire the norms and mores and rules of conduct in our society. And we also acquire all the values of the cultural or social surround and develop a worldview and an interpretive framework for understanding our perceptions of external and internal reality. So, overcoming the sense of a separate self is the key to realizing who we really are. The egoic sense of a separate self is all predicated upon striving, trying to acquire, to make itself whole, to fill this void that it feels within itself. Separation from your true nature creates this kind of gnawing emptiness within that we try to fill with all kinds of things. Travel, experiences, careers, social status, drugs, alcohol, sexual experiences, all of these kinds of things in order to make ourselves feel whole again. But when you wake up to who you really are, that gnawing sense of emptiness, of dissatisfaction, of this inner lack disappears completely and you feel whole and complete. So you wake up to an awareness that's beyond conceptual understanding. The mind cannot go there. Concepts cannot adequately explain what it's like to wake up. It's the conceptual fabrication of thoughts and constructs and perceptions and interpretations and the striving and the wanting and the desires and the aversions and the pain and the suffering and all that keeps us all wound up all the time. That's what's obscuring your awareness of your true nature. And when that all falls away, you realize that it's completely beyond conceptual understanding. Concepts and the mind cannot go there or adequately explain what it's like to awaken. It just simply can't. It's what Jesus called the peace beyond all understanding, because there is a sense, deep sense of inner peace and tranquility, of contentment, of satisfaction, easy, even Awareness is also silent. There's no, you can sit without conceptual thinking or thoughts so that the mind is quiet and calm, easy. So you enjoy silence. It's a non non-distracted awareness. You want to be away from distractions often. Silence is golden, they say. You realize how true that is when you awaken. Um, Little things like music, background music in stores. You can completely do without that. Because again, this music is meant to preoccupy our minds and distract us from this kind of sense of emptiness that we feel within, this lack. And you have no need for that anymore whatsoever. So you can sit in silence and be completely content. You achieve a liberation from a freedom from suffering, from the minor irritations in life and uh, this sort of persistent sense of dissatisfaction that goes along with the separate self. And it doesn't mean you don't still have preferences or that you would, rather not be experiencing physical pain, for example. It's just that you learn to accept what is, whatever is okay. It's everything is going to be okay. And you just accept whatever comes and abide in the present moment without worry about the future or preoccupations with the past. The present moment is where it's at. That's really all we have. And calm, abiding in the present moment is um, peaceful sense of liberation and contentment. Some other things happen when you become aware of who you really are by overcoming the sense of a separate self. For example, you realize that, as I said in this previous video that I made, that this background of awareness is open, spacious, boundless. It has no center. There are no limits. It extends within and without for infinity. And you realize that this background of awareness is who you've always been. You've always been this background of awareness. It has never been apart from you. Like I say, it's who you really are. It's your birthright. It's your true nature. It's only been obscured by our preoccupations and our mental constructs and this kind of perceptual stream of consciousness of being caught up in our emotional reactions and so forth. So when you wake up, you realize that this life is just a temporary blip in a moment in the span of infinitude. Time, it's timeless. So you completely lose your fear of death. You realize that you are eternal, that there is, um, that everything that's happening is really just a figment of your imagination. It's just another something that's happening in your conscious awareness, like a dream, very much like a dream. And that when you die, it will be like waking up to who you really are. And in fact, the Tibetan Buddhists would say that when you wake up and you realize who you are and you can rest in awareness without this continual fabrication of mental constructs, that you empty yourself out of the negative mental impressions that persons build up over time as a result of their negative emotional reactions to what's happening and their grudges and resentments and traumas and so on. This all gets emptied out after you awaken. You go back and rehash stuff that's happened and let it go. And when this happens, then you don't have this kind of mental material to cling to when you die and go into your true nature of awareness. If you have all this baggage that you're carrying around with you, it's the kernels, the seeds around which another incarnation or life can form. And if you don't have this, then you're free from reincarnation, or you can choose to reincarnate where you wish and how you wish. If you want to come back and be a benefit to other beings, you can. This is what the Tulkus and Rinpoches like the Dalai Lama, they reincarnate life after life in order to be a benefit to others. This is the Bodhisattva ideal. And it becomes possible when a person achieves liberation and when they can die and rest in silent awareness and not cling to this cavalcade of emotional baggage that we end up carrying around with us oftentimes from life to life. So the Tibetan Buddhists would tell you that when you awaken, you achieve liberation from what the Hindus call samsara, the cycles of existence, these cyclical nature of suffering and delusion that results in reincarnation after reincarnation in a physical body. You also lose your identification with the body. I told someone the other day that I'm willing and ready at a moment's notice to discard this body along the side of the road like an old dish rag. Because it doesn't mean anything now. It's not who I really am. It's just an incarnation, another incarnation. It's something that you're no longer tied to. You're not identified with it. You realize that things are always coming and going, and that the body is just one more thing that will come and go. And your death is inevitable, and you accept that with perfect grace and equanimity. It's not a problem. Like I say, you lose your fear of death. There is no worry about death anymore. When you awaken, you can rest easy in the tender embrace of the divine, the loving and tender embrace of the divine. When people say God is love, they really mean it. It's true. God is love. And when you shed the separate sense of the egoic sense of a separate self, when that falls away, you can rest easy like a baby in a mother's arms. If you've ever watched a baby sleeping peacefully in a mother's arms, you know what it's like to rest in awareness. And without worry, without fear, without anxiety, without any turmoil or disturbances, you realize that emotional reactions and preoccupations, mental preoccupations, thoughts, these are all distractions. And when you overcome those and let them fall by the wayside, then you can rest easy in peaceful contentment and understanding. You gain a wisdom that's beyond all understanding. Like I say, the conceptual mind can't grasp it. It can't go there. So you find out that you are the unchanging, boundless, spacious background of awareness that's completely indescribable. It's a unity. There's no separation between self and other, between inside and outside. You are everything. It contains everything that could possibly exist, is contained within this field of awareness. Everything that could be known is contained within it. It's vast, it's spacious, it's timeless, and you realize that everything is unified within it. There's an interdependence and interconnectivity to everything in existence. We're all one. We're all part of it. And to wake up to that and understand that for yourself. It's the most important thing that can possibly happen, not just for yourself, but for everyone. Because when you wake up, you're no longer part of the problem. You're no longer spreading ripples of negativity around you with your emotional reactivity and your preoccupations and your striving. And this all goes away, and now you become part of the solution. Instead of spreading negativity, the positive virtues flower within you naturally. Unconditional love, joy, happiness, peace, and gratitude, patience, all the positive virtues flower. And then you realize that what the energy that you radiate into the world becomes a reflection of that. And if everybody were to become enlightened and to awaken, the world would be a heavenly place. There's no doubt about this in my mind. All of the energy that got radiated by beings would be positive, and it would bring about a kingdom of heaven here on earth. This is why awakening is so important, is that it's not just a benefit to you and yourself or your loved ones. It's a benefit to everyone. That when you awaken and express gratitude, reverence for the beings who have come before you, devotion to the spiritual teachings that have enabled you to achieve stability in your awakening, then you send out positive ripples of positive energy within the universe, and it benefits everyone. This is the true benefit. The real reason why awakening is the most important thing that could possibly happen is because it benefits everyone. This is the highest ideal. It's the highest calling in life. Awakening is your highest purpose. Please follow a path to awakening today. Give up these temporary preoccupations with yourself and strive for awareness. Nothing could be more important. Nothing. Thanks for watching.